So windy out here.
Alright, I need you to maybe put it into the napkin.
Hey guys, today is mind clearing day. Getting the mind clear. I've had a hectic week. Final diagnosis of what I've got going on with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Didn't receive the best news in that sense, but treatment plan's not really changing just because of the way this disease works. But I'll go into more detail with that in another video, because I want to do one where I sort of go through the entire journey from signs, symptoms, tests, scans, biopsies, diagnosis, emotional roller coasters, all that sort of thing. I'll do that at a later time. Today I wanted to just get down and check out the surf and go to the beach, because that's one thing that always sort of clears my heart and clears my soul, is the water, being at the beach. I love fishing, I love anything to do with the water, and we've got Cyclone Omar, which is affecting our Queensland coast, just mainly with a bit of wind and swell, but the swell is supposed to be really big. Saw some videos yesterday, so we're going to go for a drive down and check it out. Courtney's got the day off, so we had the opportunity to do that. So we're going to go clear the mind. It's important to realise that sometimes stepping back from the situation that you're in and accepting that it's happening regardless of what you do. Sometimes you get caught up in whether it's a disease fighting thing or like a business problem you have or a personal problem in your life. We sort of tend to tackle it in a fighting type of sense, in a battle type of sense, resistance and things like that, to try and figure out how we can solve the problem. And unfortunately, when you get into a battle situation, battles can be won and lost, and they can be won and lost in the mind, or they can be won and lost in the body and the soul. If you accept a journey and you decide to flow with it, then you have less likelihood of losing the battle, because there's no battle to be had. And it's just kind of like, you know, sort of a jellyfish floating in the ocean. They're sort of going wherever the current takes them. There's no particular direction. It's just whatever the ocean decides that jellyfish is going to do and where it's going to go, it's just going to go. And the more we kind of live in that moment, the less opportunity we have for fear, because so much of your fear comes from future thought. And I have a lot of future thought, obviously, because of the situation I'm in, and the fact I also have a baby on the way, and I've got a family to think about, and stress, fear, anxiety, all those things can be kind of taken into account as to what's going to happen. And the more that we worry about that happening in the future, the more fear and anxiety that I'm sort of putting on myself, what the outcome is going to be and what the battle is going to be like. So acceptance is a really big part of clearing your mind. As soon as you accept it and go with the flow and know that you can't control the future, there is a massive sense of relief and helping you clear the mind. Sometimes you just have to take a step back. Like I said, I've been sitting at home doing a lot of research. I've been talking to a lot of different people. I've been seeing different types of doctors and naturopaths, and everybody's got their own opinion of how the future is going to play out. And I obviously have expectations of how that's going to play out as well. But there comes a time when you realise that everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody's got their own different evaluations and past experiences of how future does play out. But unfortunately, sometimes you just have to accept what's going on and just roll with the waves, and we're just going to see where it's going to have to take us, and make sure the mind's as positive as possible in that whole time. So if you want to know more about the diagnosis and what that situation was like, I'll chuck another video up in the next couple of days and sort of give everybody the final outcome, what treatment I'll be dealing with and what it means for me in the future. It wasn't as good as what I was hoping, but in the same sense, this type of disease, they're still treating it the same way. Like I said, my blood's kind of really handling the disease quite well at this time, so I'll go into more detail with that later. But today is clearing the mind day, chill out day, just making sure that I'm living in the moment and feeling as happy as possible in the moment, and go enjoy what I like doing and looking at the ocean. So that's what we're going to do. and hopefully you might get some cool footage of the surf if this camera is good enough to capture that. The surf's been massive the last 2 days, so we'll check it out.
Why you want to win? It's as simple as
Everybody's got the same idea. Come down, look at the surf. Gridlock traffic.